Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been an incredibly long time since I've uploaded anything here. I've been trying to sporadically upload a few things in other places. I haven't really updated my social media that much either. And it's purely just based on the fact that right now I'm just going through a bit of a mental health crisis. I am very, very depressed right now. I'm dealing with a lot of anxiety. And then on top of all of that, I'm still trying to live my life the best way that I know how. So I've been extremely busy with work, extremely busy just being a wife. And when I'm not doing any of those things, I'm just, trying to read and trying to do what I can to try and keep my mind in some sort of good, positive flow and routine. So I've been reading a lot more, I've been meditating a lot more, and just taking time out. And I guess during that time, just taking time out, I haven't really felt the need to share anything with anyone. So that's why I kind of routinely disappear every so often. I'm just dealing with a lot right now. With that being said, the vlog that you're about to see is more of a collection of clips and videos that I put together over the course of the last few months, including that from toward the end of summer last year. I don't know, I just didn't feel creative or inspired enough to want to put something a lot more substantial together. So what you're going to see in this particular vlog, like I said, is just going to be a sporadic collection of random clips from over the last few months, including a tiny little bit from New Year's when I was putting together my resolutions for this year, and also some exciting information about a book that is coming out from our little publishing company, which I'm really, really excited about sharing with you guys. I will go into more detail about that book as time goes on, but for now, I guess today's vlog will be more of like an extended peek at what I'm doing with the editing process with that particular book, and I'm really excited to share that with you guys. So yeah, on with the sporadic vlog. Sorry it's so long.
What we found in your room justified all our fears. How long have you been reading these horrid books?
That old black magic has
That's right.
that old black magic
Relax and close your eyes.
The door opened, as though being pulled by some unknown force.
This fog is so weird. I don't know if you can see it, like, there's just fog everywhere. So we came down to try and catch the sunset, and the sunset's behind, but instead it's just fog. I'm just fascinated by this because I didn't think that fog could happen in the summertime unless it was like early morning. But this is different, this is weird. And I kind of like it. So I guess this is just going to be more of an appreciation or like a gratitude moment rather than just sort of like doing a sitting meditation. But it's nice. But it suddenly just got dark because the sun is really going down and the clouds are really starting to come in. So, hey. Dark. It's actually really fascinating, I have to say. It's just so calm, it's so peaceful down here at the same time, but also Stephen King's The Mist is just kind of running through my mind right now, so I kind of half expect to see a bunch of like weird tentacles coming out of the mist to eat me and kill me and stuff, so I don't know. It's interesting. Whoa, mosquito. Okay. We just found these. That's pretty cool, huh? So slowly rebuilding my collection, or our collection. So a few months ago, you guys saw that I have this blue mat, and I love it, but my dog has since absolutely destroyed it in her own way. So now this mat belongs to my dog. So it's hers, and so I was desperately looking for a new mat that could replace this one, but I wasn't really rushing into it. At the same time, my husband never actually had his own yoga mat before. Technically he did at one point, but he gave it to his mum because he wasn't really using it for DDP yoga. And so he just kind of never kept it. So earlier this year for his birthday, back in March, I got this one. I tend to just stick with brands that I know, and this is from Gaiam. Same as this one as well, and like the yoga blocks and everything, they're all from Gaiam. I've been using Gaiam and their items for years and years. So like I said, I tend to just stick with what I know. I'm also very aware that because of my body shape and size and everything, I find that other yoga mats are a little bit too thin for my liking, so I tend to feel more pain. So I try to avoid thinner mats and just go for sort of like the generic pressurized plastic foam ones instead. And I've just realized something. Oh, just before I go on to that, I bought myself the exact same one, because this one, as you can sort of see here, is a little bit longer. I would show you the back, but I don't know how much you'll be able to, oh no, you can see. Oh my God. There's a lot more space. It's a lot longer. It's a lot wider than this one as well, which is perfect for my height. But the one thing I never clocked about yoga mats, which is quite shocking, in all the years that I've been practicing yoga, I never understood why so many yoga mats have two sides. I just thought it was purely for aesthetics, right? So whenever I was using my husband's mat, I loved using the black side because it was black, it's dark, it absorbs all of my energies, blah, blah, blah. It was just aesthetically pleasing and made me feel really good. So that's what I ended up using, but I always kept finding that I was slipping a lot more on the black side, regardless of whether it was yoga, Pilates, or any other workouts that I was doing on this mat. I found that I was slipping more, and I never understood why. I found that with a lot of yoga mats over the years, and it just never occurred to me until now. I started watching a review for one of these and found out that the reason why yoga mats are two-sided is because one side is more slippery and softer, and the other side is actually a lot more firm. How the hell I didn't know this, I don't know. I feel so proud, so I'm just letting you guys know now. If you decide to get into the world of yoga and you want to get yourself a good yoga mat, that's part of the reason why so many mats are double-sided, and I've just noticed that they stick the two bits together. It is not focusing, I am so sorry. Ooh. Yeah, that's a bit better. Can you see? There's a visible line that goes all the way around, and I never clocked it. How? I don't know. Oh, my nails need to be redone. But anyway, I'm gonna just quickly go through a quick yoga workout before my husband gets home, because then I can just get really stuck in. and that should be a lot of fun. So yeah, time to stretch. The end of the year 2021 was a bit of a dark and depressing one for me. I've been in a slump ever since. It seems to have drastically just gotten worse, but I'm dealing with it the best that I can, which is part of the reason why I disappeared for so long. However, during that time, I had started uploading to my other channel, like every so often. So if you haven't caught up with the shenanigans that my husband and I have been having to deal with for the last few months, I'll put the links down below for at least 2 of the vlogs so you can check them out. This particular video was taken from January because I wanted to set up my resolutions for the following year. And one of my late Yule presents was a fountain pen to myself. And my husband got me that brand new Noodler's ink, Apache Sunset. And I absolutely love it. Just as a side note, because obviously it's fountain pens and journaling, this is something I've been doing since I was like 10 years old. It was a requirement for middle school that everybody had to have a fountain pen upon starting that school. So I've had fountain pens ever since. It didn't take me long, but I sat and meditated for a good 3 or 4 minutes there, just to come up with the resolutions that I wanted to focus on for this year, as well as the word that I wanted for this year. The last couple of years, I have been meditating and sort of opening myself up to the universe in the hopes that the universe could give me a word that I can focus on for the entire year as a sort of lesson for myself, for spiritual growth. And this year, it was the word surrender, which is part of the yamas and the niyamas. With everything that's been going on the last few months, besides the pandemic, besides my mum's health, besides trying to continue with this immigrant experience in this new country, I've been under a lot of stress. A lot of it, unfortunately, is purely because I have no control over what's happened. So the idea of surrendering myself completely to the HDA, completely to the universe, in the hopes that I can come out of the other side of that intense meditation somewhat refreshed and anew, is what I'm going to be focusing all of my intent on. These are the cards that I ended up pulling for the following year. Each card, of which there were 12, represents each month. Regardless of how I'm going to be feeling in that month or what I'm going to be experiencing in that month, I would always then refer back to my journal where I listed down all of the cards for the following year. And I would in some way try and build a lesson around the message that the card is giving me. I do also read reversals. So just in case you're wondering why there's some cards that are reversed there, I also read reversed cards. I've been keeping a magical diary of sorts, well, multiple magical diaries for different things, for over 2 decades now. So it's very much part of my spiritual practice, my daily routine, I guess you could say. So it's something that I don't think I'll ever stop doing, but if you want, I can discuss more about that in another video. Just let me know. Of course, if I don't roll out her yoga mat, or at least allow her to lay on one of the yoga mats while I do exercise, she gets real mad at me. But fitness and yoga, meditation, I kind of combine all of them together. It's just part of my spiritual practice. I, at the moment, am practicing both yoga and kinetic yoga, and I'm getting a lot from it. If you look at some of my really old videos, especially those from my author channel, I will link the very first one in the description box down below. You will also see that I've lost quite a bit of weight in the last couple of years. So I'm very proud of that, and I'm still staying on that particular journey. It's just great. I just like feeling positive and being able to do things again. Also, enjoy my husband's legs and, of course, my dog taking over the entire video. I love how involved she gets every time I'm on the mat, whether I'm working out or doing yoga. She just, she just has to let me know that she's there and she's supporting me, which is really cute.
Hey guys, I'll have another vlog soon. Hi babe.
Oh my god. So this is just the author copy of his book. His translation. Let's see. We're just testing it out super quick.
So the back
Wow.
and the front.
Wow, that is so cool. Do you think that's a good size? Do you think it's like...
Yeah, it's nice size.
I think that's a really good size.
Yeah. Start and the end.
Yeah, we've just popped that on there. Yeah, that's really cool. Oh my god. So yeah, he translated this all from French into the English because it's...
125 years old, never in English, and it's a book showing the roots of occultism in hypnosis.
Also, look how hot my husband is.
Gosh.
Wow.
Okay, that's enough.
husband is just going through the quality checks right now in his translation / his first ever book. Obviously it's not a book that he wrote himself per se. It's been written by an occult master by the name of Papus, but for some reason there was only ever a French version of this book. It was never translated into English, so my husband took on that personal feat a few weeks ago, and yeah, now it's like in his hand. It's really exciting. There's a few things that he's going through, like I don't know how well you can see it, but on the spine there's a few like pixels and millimeters that he could shift the wording and our publishing logo across a little bit, so he's just sort of taking note of things like that. So yeah, the book will be available soon for $16.66 Canadian dollars. Anyway, here you go, babe. This is yours. Nice, healthy protein shake. So I'm just looking for formatting, spelling, translation issues, you name it. I'm just trying to find them all within this particular copy of the book that we have so far. It is an author copy, of course, which is why it has the big old not for resale banner across the front and the back. But at the moment, I'm just going to take the next few days or weeks just to make sure I can comb through every single line to make sure that it looks nice and happens to read really, really well. So I'm just looking for a few issues as I go along. I just thought I'd let you in to sort of see some of the things that I'm doing. At the same time, it also means that I get to build up a consistent method of structuring as far as our own personal books or our small publishing company will end up developing as time goes on. So there are certain rules that I'm already familiar with, I guess you could say. I guess when I was writing a lot of essays at university, I learnt various university methods on how to format, edit, and stylize your own essay pieces and things. And so I've learnt particular methods, and that's what I want to stick to. And that could be like our route or our template for making sure that when we do come out with more books in the future alongside this one, that we stick with a particular rule, so that any other writers who want to end up publishing with us at some point in the future, I'll do the same thing and make sure that they understand the methods that we're picking up. What I actually mean by that is things like how we format, how we indent quotes, trying to keep consistent with certain fonts and stuff like that. We're trying to keep things as, I wouldn't say uniform, but it is basically just being as uniform as we can. So that way people aren't going to be too confused by anything when fonts suddenly change or if quotes suddenly aren't indented and things like that. We're trying to pick up a style that will be perfect for our small little publishing company. So for example, earlier in the book, I highly doubt I'm going to find it, but it's things like the footnotes. Oh, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. The footnotes here are in a particular font. So I want to make sure that the entire book, all of the footnotes are in that same font. I've already come across a few footnotes already that have several different fonts in them, because obviously as my husband was writing and obviously translating the works, he was trying to keep as close as he could with the original work that was originally in French. So if there's anything that I can see as a potential improvement upon the original work, then I would like to do that. And if it's going to change the work in some way, which 9 times out of 10 it will not, we will obviously make a note in the preface or towards the end. So we shall see. So it's things like that. Making sure that paragraphs, especially as it goes in toward the end here, are as straight as they're supposed to be. We have already come across a few paragraphs where the paragraphs weren't quite as formatted. So it's things like that. I'm just trying to make sure that the book stays consistent and has a really nice, easy flow to it. That way, if it's fine in print, it should be totally fine once it's available on Kindle as well. One thing that is bugging me though, there's an awful lot of letters in this particular book. So Papus tends to, like how I used to do a lot of my older videos years and years and years ago, was that if I was trying to explain a particular occult concept, and a lot of people were a little bit confused by the concept that I was trying to explain, I would then throw in allegory so that people could understand it a little bit better. Papus does the same thing, but he mixes both fiction and non-fiction together. And there's also a lot of letters which are considered non-fiction that he also throws into this book. So as far as making sure that the book is actually formatted and looks stylized, it can get a little annoying, which is why it's going to take a while for me to actually sit and edit this properly. So I do have to make sure that quotes are indented properly, that letters look the way that they're supposed to look. Text, whether it's fiction or non-fiction, looks easy flowing and easy to read. It's a whole learning experience for me. That's for sure. But it's little things like this. For example, you've got more of a letter here, but it's all in the original text like this. So I would want to improve on that a little bit by perhaps maybe adding a space somewhere where need be, if it is at all possible. And then obviously ending the letter here where it says sincerely yours. I don't know how well you're going to see that, where it says sincerely yours. And then there's also a postscript on the next page at the top. I would ideally want to try and figure out a way to try and get that on the same page, or at least move the sincerely yours, which is here, which you can barely see. Try and move this sincerely yours to above the postscript so you're aware that it's also a letter. At the same time, I also just want to indent it a little bit rather than having it all mixed in with the regular text. I'll have it maybe go in a few more millimeters on either side. Again, that's just something that I picked up when I was at university. It's something where it doesn't matter what kind of quote it is, whether it's fictional or non-fiction. If it's more than 40 words in that particular quote, you have to indent. So that's a rule that I want to be able to continue using with our future books, including this one. So doing what I can to stay magically consistent. But I'm absolutely dying to get this book out for you guys so you can all see it and get your hands on a copy, because as stated, it's never been published in English before. So this will be the first attempt. And we've already gotten a few people who have written to my husband privately and have said, you know, well done. So I'm actually really excited about that. These are people from like really big places. And they're quite eager to get their hands on a copy once it's all complete. So hopefully it should be out soon. And obviously the joke is, which is also serious, it will be available, at least on the Canadian site for the first day, it will be available for $16.66, because why not? It's hilarious. But yeah, there is Papus. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited for this book. And I'm so excited for all the future books that we're also currently working on, which we will not discuss, much like this one, until we are able to actually have a physical copy of the author's work in our hands. Then we will let you guys know that we're working on new books and stuff. But it's just really exciting. It's really, really, really exciting. And there's our little logo there. I don't know how well you're going to see that. But yeah. Anyway, I'm busy. Back to work. Thank you so much for watching that vlog and spending the time just watching what you could. I'm still practicing with the whole editing thing, so I'm still not down pat with it, if that makes sense. I will get there eventually, but between now and then I have time to play around and experiment and just see what happens to work, and then eventually I will have a set color theme and style for each of my channels. So yeah, That's great. Thank you for watching. For anything else, links to my other channels are down below. And yeah, I think that's everything I can say for now. So hopefully see you in a few weeks. Bye.